Before you guys grab your anime fan pitchforks, I want you to just listen to my theory and hear me out. Unpopular opinion, Demon Slayer Season 3 is just not that good. Now I have to emphasize Season 3 because it took me completing most of Season 3 to find a newfound appreciation for Season 1 and 2. I've always been quite the Demon Slayer critic. However, after watching this Season 3, I've seen that Season 1 and 2 actually are not that bad and they're actually very good. But Season 3 is, I'm sorry to say, poop. Now there's still one more episode left, which is slated to be 70 minutes long per a couple anime rumors. So I'm hoping that it can redeem itself with this last episode, as good anime tend to usually do, ending with a bang for their last episode. But watch to the end, like and subscribe, share with a friend, because I'm going to give you some actual facts behind, well, anecdotal facts behind why I believe Demon Slayer Season 3 just isn't that good. We're going to break this video down into 3 categories. Their backstories, the fight scenes, and then comparisons between Season 1 and 2 and Season 3. Let's begin with the backstories, which were, in my opinion, very boring and lackluster. Referencing, obviously, the new backstories of the two Hashira, Muchiro the Mist Hashira and Miss Kanroji the Love Hashira. Their stories, in my opinion, were a bit cliche and didn't do anything out of the ordinary, while introducing some out of the ordinary characters. Miss Kanroji was a young maiden having a hard time finding a suitor because of her voracious appetite and her overwhelming strength, as well as her weird pink hair. I found that so odd because in anime, we never really addressed people's hair, but like I said again in a lot of my older Demon Slayer videos, I might link it. Koyuharu Gutoge, the mangaka, has a weird thing with hair, and I guess they might be the first mangaka to actually address hair color and make it out to be a weird thing if your hair is anything out of the ordinary. Because as we've seen in other anime, people just have pink and green and purple hair and no one says anything, like it's just normal in that world. But apparently in Demon Slayer, if you have some strange hair, it will be called out, so just know. I think a better angle would have been to explain Miss Kanroji's sword and how it was crafted, because it's such a cool sword and the way her fighting style is. But the best explanation we get for her strength is she was blessed by the gods, which is stated by Master Ubayashiki himself. Muchiro's backstory was a little bit better, however for me it just wasn't believable. If 2 twin brothers were abandoned by their family and some people came to take them in and they got to learn cool sword fighting powers, of course they're going to take that. They were literally 9 years old. What little kid would turn that down? That's every little kid's dream, to be a super cool samurai demon slaying hunter. So I just didn't believe that, honestly. I know it's a little anecdotal, but just the story didn't make so much sense. I think they were forcing the sadness on us, and we kind of, like, his backstory just seems a lot like everyone else's backstory. Like, what's the difference between his backstory and Genya's backstory? Literally not much. I guess the only difference would be that Genya's brother was a little bit more optimistic than Muchiro's brother, but for the most part, all these backstories are just starting to seem the same to me. The next category we're going to segue into are the fight scenes. Now, this may have been an issue of design for the demons, however, I feel like the fight scenes are lacking that connection that every other season had. Even Mugen Train had that connection, and let me explain why I think that is. So as we see with Upper Rank 4 and Upper Rank 5, they are demons that don't really have humanoid forms for the most part. I think Upper Rank 5 does transform into something of like a mermaid slithering form. However, it's not something that can go toe to toe with a demon slayer. So as we see in Mugen Train and Season 1 and Season 2, the Hashiras are equally matched against demons where they're given a good fight. They're humanoid demons. In the case of when Rengoku was fighting Akaza, the Upper Rank 3, it was a nice head-to-head one-on-one battle where we got to see some insane graphics and just 2 heavy hitters going at it. Also in the case of Tengen versus Daki and Gyotaro, the fight is so interesting because it's just a head-to-head. Like, literally, we let Daki go handle the younger runts of Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke, while Tengen and Gyotaro just go at it. Like, the fight scene gets crazy, the graphics go crazy, Tengen's swords are flying everywhere, like, crazy explosions, the swords are flinging, the claws are slashing. It's just a really good fight. A really good fight in where the graphics are allowed to shine the right way, in a way that UFO Tale was able to shine their characters in the most optimal light. Now, the same cannot be said for Season 3. In Season 3, the fights are a bit boring because the demons don't have humanoid form, so it's hard to do a head-to-head. It's more like just this grandeur of a bunch of illusions and strange attacks that really can't resonate or connect with the viewer. Muchiro spends most of his time trapped in this water bubble until he finally escapes and remembers who he is. Against Upper Rank 5, Gyoko, we don't see much boxing, as RDC World likes to refer to it as, and a lot of anime fans like to refer to it. It's just not a lot of boxing. It's just more like he's cutting and trying to fight the demon. Yes, it's a decent fight, but it's not a fight that viewers can resonate with. The same instance goes for Upper Rank 4, While the fight starts off very good with Tanjiro going head to head with more humanoid forms of Upper Rank 4 in his split up versions of emotion, once they fuse into that one main being, it kind of takes away from the fight because it's no longer a head-to-head fight. It's kind of just you're fighting the snakes, or I'm sorry, the lizards that they call it. Let me give you an example. When we were younger, we used to like to watch Power Rangers, right? We always used to like to see them fight the little henchmen. That was actually enjoyable because they used to just get off. They would just, you know, have a ball. You see all the parkour, the flips, the great fight scenes. But once everything went Zord mode, which every episode they always had to turn big and go get in their Zords to fight the villain that had increased in size, it just wasn't as fun anymore because we couldn't relate to that. They're just so huge, and the fight basically loses its finesse because the characters are so big. So the fight is not more about skill, it's just more about power. I think the same instance happens in Demon Slayer. The love Hashira, Miss Kanroji, is literally fighting, like, she's not even fighting the demon itself, she's fighting their lizards, and she's trying to find a way to slash the demon's head. So the fight is a little bit different, and the scene is just not as exciting to me. I don't know, let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you made it this far, leave a like, comment, and subscription, because I'm going to get into the most important point, and I think everyone that watches Demon Slayer is going to agree with me on this point right here. Season 3 just isn't that good because it tried to be too different from seasons 1 and 2. Let me explain. What characters have always shown up in seasons 1 and 2 that are missing now? You guessed it, Zenitsu and Inosuke. They gave us a brief backstory of what they're up to, but I'm sure everyone's still wondering where they are and what they're really doing at this current time. Hopefully we get to see a big power boost from them when they get back. Hopefully, you know, and some character changes as well. Maybe this will lead into a time skip, who knows? Yes, we got reintroduced to the character of Genya. However, he doesn't seem like a character that fans are going to resonate with that much compared to Zenitsu and Inosuke. Tanjiro also, I believe, is one of the least popular out of the three, so that isn't going to do well for viewers because Tanjiro isn't even the most liked out of that group of those three characters. And another way that they stray from the norm in this season, which I think was the biggest blunder, was trying to give us a 2-for-1 buy one get one free of Hashira. Season 1 and Season 2 both focus on their own main Hashira for each one, and they were allowed to be put in a grander, bigger light. When you think of the Flame Hashira Rengoku and the Sound Hashira Tengen Uzui, they both have their own popular sayings, popular times where they have cool catchphrases where they defeat demons in a swaggy way. However, I think trying to split the time between two Hashira just doesn't do well for the season. Like, we're just now getting to Kanroji and it's almost the end of the season, and she hasn't done anything cool. She's actually looked kind of lame. She had to be saved by the whole crew, which was pretty lame to me in my opinion. This happened in episode 9. Maybe they did this on purpose though. Maybe these are the most underwhelming of all the Hashira, so they had to just throw them together because there was no point in giving them their own side arcs where they're just their own character. I think it would be, maybe they were not trying to waste screen time and waste, you know, production time. But overall, I'm waiting for the last episode just as you guys are waiting, and we're gonna chronicle it here. Hopefully it's good, hopefully things get better, hopefully it leaves us with some hope for the future and what's gonna be happening next season, season 4. But Demon Slayer can only get better from here, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm just here to tell you guys that from my perspective, season 3 was not as good as season 1 and season 2. But I hope you guys liked the video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, and remember to, as always, find your zen, your final form. I'll see you next time, guys.
Pulling back like karma, Benny Hanna, Gucci with the Prada. What I say goes, so we ride Dolce and Gabbana. And I change clothes like my hoes. I love designer, and I change my flows like who knows.